If you want to rank up so fast that people accuse you of cheating, you need to stop wasting time on things that don't matter. Instead, focus on the small handful of skills and habits that actually make a difference and will let you reach high elo in record time. I'm December, I'm a top 2000 Immortal 3 player, and in this video I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do to reach high elo fast. I've helped students climb as much as 3 entire ranks in just 2 weeks, so I know exactly what lower elo players need to do to hit higher ranks, and I'm going to share that with you in this video. So the first thing that's going to help you rank up faster is consistency. And I don't mean consistency in game, like hitting every shot and never whiffing. I mean the consistency of your actions and inputs. If you look at the players who are always at the top of the leaderboard, these are people who play Valorant every day, and have been playing every day for years at this point. Now, don't get discouraged. It does not take years to go from gold to ascendant, for example. In fact, you can make a climb like that extremely fast, and the consistency of your inputs is going to be a big contributor to how fast you rank up. When I say consistency of inputs, I'm talking about things like how many games you play per day, how consistently you practice your mechanics, and how often you're watching guides like this for tips or analysing Radiant players to copy how they play. Someone who plays DMs, watches Radiant VODs and plays ranked every single day will improve and as a result rank up faster than someone who only queues up when the duo's online or only plays when they feel like they're at their 100%. There's something that happens when you practice a skill every single day that makes your rate of improvement way faster than if you take days off in between playing sessions. And look, if you take 1 or 2 days off, it's not like you're going to forget how to aim or how to move. The problems mainly come when you take extended breaks from the game because you then need to use the next 5 hours or so of game time to get your mechanics back and get your feel for the game back. Those are 5 hours that could have been spent on improving but were instead wasted on relearning things that you already knew before you stopped playing the game. One thing I do to bring a bit more consistency into my practice is to have a very simple routine. Before I play my ranked games for the day, I do 20 minutes of aim labs just to make sure my aim is sharp, I play 2 DMs, then I'll watch a 10-minute YouTube video from some high ranked Radiant player. This takes me around 45 minutes per day, but it ensures I'm getting some mechanics practice in, I'm watching a higher ranked player than me play my agent, and it also serves as a little warm up. Now, if you're looking for some extra support to stay accountable and consistent, I'm offering a 1-month coaching program through my Discord. As part of this program, we'll meet weekly to review your gameplay, identify areas for improvement, and create a personalised plan to help you rank up faster. But spaces are limited and I only have 4 slots available right now, so if you're interested, join the Discord and sign up today. Another thing that's going to help you rank up faster is not only limiting your agent pool, but also limiting your agent's complexity. And let me explain. If you've watched videos like this before, you've probably heard people talk about limiting your agent pool to just 1 or 2 agents, but what many coaches don't touch upon is choosing agents that are lower complexity. Examples of this would be like choosing to play Reyna instead of Raze, or choosing to play Clove instead of Astra. Agents that have very unique gameplay patterns like Raze with her satchels or Astra with her stars take your focus away from the fundamentals of Valorant, and instead put a lot of your focus on agent-specific mechanics which don't necessarily make you a better Valorant player, but rather just a better player on those specific agents. You will improve and as a result rank up faster if you pick simpler agents that allow you to focus more on fundamentals like aim, crosshair placement, movement and positioning rather than having to learn how to use the more complex stuff. And don't get me wrong, if you learn some cheese plays on Raze like satchel routes that put you in melee range with a judge, you will win a few extra games. But eventually you're going to get to a rank where people aren't stupid anymore, and they will know how to play against it. Then you have to go back to fighting people the normal way, and your actual fundamental skill level won't be good enough to climb anymore. This is why I always recommend agents like ISO, Reyna and Clove to my students. The vast majority of your brain power and focus when playing these agents is dedicated to hitting headshots and fragging out, which I think we can all agree is a very important and high impact skill to learn that can be transferred to any agent if you want to branch out in the future. And just to touch on the limiting your agent pool part, I think you should play either 1 or 2 agents in the same role and always play the same agent on the same map. For example, your 2 agents could be Brimstone and Clove, where you pick Brim on Bind and Fracture where he's a little bit more meta. Then, on every other map, you just lock in Clove and try and frag out. Instead of recommending you some agents to play, I'm going to give you some agents to stay away from if your goal is to improve at a fast rate, because these agents are a little too unique or hard to use. To me, those agents are Astra, Raze, Yoru and Neon. Astra is hard because her stars require good coordination from your team to tell you when to use the soak or pull versus using them to smoke. Raze is on the list because knowing how to entry in general is a hard to learn skill, and adding the complexity of satchels on top of that just isn't worth it when you could play a simpler alternative like Jet. Yoru and Neon are on there because both have completely unique playstyles and abilities that break the fundamentals of the game. Namely, the instant rotation TPs that Yoru can do and Neon's sprint ability. Unless you find these agents really fun and you want to one-trick them, I personally recommend staying away from them. Another way to increase the speed you rank up is to cut out the things that are slowing down your climb. Too many of you guys are self-sabotaging and losing winnable games. Self-sabotaging in Valorant usually comes in 2 forms. You either tilt your own teammates by pointing out their mistakes and flaming them, or you get so tilted at yourself that you can no longer play well and focus on the game. You will win so many extra games per act if you just shut up and don't point out the mistakes that your teammates are making, unless you do it in a constructive, non-condescending way. Instead of saying Clove, your smokes are shit, tell them you want the smoke heaven instead of CT. And look, there are still going to be some people that are going to get mad at you and going to get mad that you asked them to change the way they played, but the majority of people will be chill about it, and if they aren't, just move on to prevent tilting them further. Chances are, you will never meet that same player again in your life. It's not your job to try and teach them the game or to be a therapist. It's your job to win the game. And sometimes, dealing with your teammates making suboptimal plays in exchange for keeping the team mentality stable is a worthwhile trade-off in ranked. Now, when it comes to keeping your own mentality stable and not tilting, there are a million ways to deal with this, but the one that helps me the most is simply the realization that tilting is taking me further away from my goals. Any energy spent getting angry at mistakes that either I or my team made is energy that I could have instead spent analysing what I did wrong and how I could have played the situation better to not make that same mistake again. And also, if I'm still frustrated about something that happened 2 rounds ago, then that is taking focus away from my current round that I'm meant to be playing, which is going to make me play worse and leads to us losing winnable rounds and making mistakes that wouldn't usually happen. My point is, if you catch yourself tilting while knowing that it's going to lead to you losing more rounds and ultimately more games, maybe you just don't want to improve or rank up as much as you think you do, and you care more about protecting your own ego than achieving your goals. And when it comes to achieving your goals in ranked, there is one single rule which is more important than anything else in Valorant. If you want to know that one rule that high elo players understand that lower elo players don't, then click this video on your screen now to find out more.